is so weird being up here in this capacity. First, let me congratulate Les and Wayne. It's truly an honor. Truly, hold up the sign. Truly, it's one of my things I say all the time. Obviously, it's a great honor to be up here with the both of you. When Dina called me, I think it was in December, and it shows up on my phone that it's Dina, and I'm like, well, she must have a question about the CAB because, we're all a tight-knit group and we call and we help each other. And I'm thinking, what does she want? So all I hear is, the board voted and it's unanimous. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh crap, she wants me to come back on the board. How am I gonna tell her no? And then I heard Award for Excellence and I was rendered speechless. Anybody who knows me knows that that's extremely difficult to do. So really, I am honored, I am floored, I am stunned, I am all of those things. And I'm also acutely aware that I need to keep this speech short because as a past president, I was up here sweating and I have vowed not to pull a Dick Goddard, as we so fondly call it. So looking at that video, I realized a few things. I've done a lot of different things in this field. I'm old, but not in here, and I survived, even though I made a ton of mistakes, some of them funny. So I thought I would share a couple of them with you. When I was in Florida at an easy listening station doing the news, there was a story about these killer bees coming from coming from Texas to Florida, and they were traveling at 100 miles per year. Well, I said 100 miles an hour. Can you imagine a killer bee hitting you in the head at 100 miles an hour? There was panic in Florida. And again, it was an easy listening station, so these were not young folks. When I moved here and I started working at Power 108, I was so nervous. It was my first time on the air as, a DJ. And so I made Rick come with me out to Newberry when Power 108 was out in Newberry. And I had to be Kathy Cruz because there was another Sally Severide that worked at the station. So, you can't have two Sallys. So I had, my name, and it was like 2 a.m. And I said Sally Spitz, and then I said, 4-letter word. And I started crying. I'm gonna be fired, it's my first night on the air, and I said the F word, and and Rick jumped off the couch, and anybody who knew Rick, he didn't move fast, but the way he was in there and, turned off the microphone really quick. So I learned to always turn your mic off. Also, when I was at Power 108, when we moved downtown and I was on the air doing overnights or whatever, and I went out into the stairwell to have a cigarette and the door closed behind me. This was before cell phones. I panicked. We're off the air now for at least an hour, and I went downstairs. I think I found somebody who had a quarter and a payphone and called Rick to come from Euclid to get us back on the air. And then on Q104, this was post-Larry when I worked with another person, we decided to pull an April Fool's stunt, and we got one of Rachel's baby dolls, and we put it in on the top of the car, in a car seat, and decided to drive around. And again, creating panic in Cleveland. We had to go to court for that one. So I learned never to do April Fool's jokes again on the air. So it just goes to show that you can make mistakes, just learn from them and move on. So when I was let go from Q, that was really a turning point for me, especially at that time I was a single mom. How was I gonna raise my daughter, make a living? I didn't want to move all around the country, and I wanted some control over my destiny. So I was in South Carolina, and I remember I was on the phone with Diana Garno, and I asked her if she thought I could do sales, and she said, absolutely. I was doing part-time work at a classic rock station. It was called Q104 in Charleston, and one day I'm walking down the hall, and I see a familiar face, and I said, oh, I think I know you. And he said, I know you. You worked with Larry in Cleveland. And it was Michael Graham, who worked at NCX back in the day here in Cleveland, and he was director of sales in Charleston. And I told him I was interested in giving sales a shot, and so that's what happened. I also read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Now this was a game changer for me. I often go back to that book when I get stuck, and I highly recommend it. It helped me in my transition from sales to management. Again, I questioned myself. Did I really have the qualities to lead others, to inspire, to remove myself from the equation, so to speak? My coworker and now co-manager, Lynn Urinich, said, Sally, yes you do. We could do this together, and it's worked for over 8 years. This year marks my 14th year at The Wave, and I'm grateful every day for the amazing team I get to work with, the sales team of Renee, Dave, Chloe, Kelly, Logan, our promotions director, Mark Ribbons, our PD, our outstanding air staff, including Dan Dealey, who we go way back to the Q104 days, Jason Potter, Grace Roberts, and to Tom Mandel, Nick Anthony, and Mark Biviano, the triumvirate of Rubber City Radio, who believed in Lynn and me, who gave us enough rope to hang ourselves, but gave us leeway to be creative and to try new things. The mantra is, if you're gonna fail, fail fast and move on. And so to Lynn, I'm so glad that I convinced you to come to The Wave so many years ago, and even though we don't always see eye to eye on everything every day, that's what makes it so interesting. Thank you for your wisdom, your mad Excel skills, and for your friendship. There's so many people in this room that I've worked with who have been my bosses or my co-workers, Wayne Myers, Dave Popovich, Jim Meltzer, Marshall Gowdy, Christy Brown, Joanne Reardon, Sue Wilson. I could go on and on. I feel like, you know, you guys are it's a family. It's an incestuous family, but it's a family. To some friends who came out today, Lindy Gillum, thank you. To Laura Farrell and Sally Woznicki, AKA Sally Ride. My partners in hell that was traffic reporting. We all share so many stories and so many secrets. I'm blessed to have you both as dear friends in my life, and to your wonderful husbands, Jake and Sherba, thank you. To Larry Morrow, I can't even begin to thank you enough. You could have been a total diva when we were brought together by Dave Irvin. I mean, you were Larry Morrow, and who the hell was I? But you know what? You saw the greater good that could happen. You taught me, you let me soar, and together we were an amazing team. And this was a big thing because I had worked with male partners who wouldn't turn my mic on, who demeaned me or felt I had nothing to contribute, who felt threatened by me, and one who even threw a cart at my head. So thank you, Larry, for some of the very best years, including letting us air my daughter's birth on the air, highly edited, of course.
And here I am.
Which brings me to Rachel. My heart, my soul, my reason to always keep going. Through all of this career stuff, you were my constant northern star, pointing me in the right direction, whether you knew it or not. I'm so grateful you're my daughter and my best friend, and that you moved back home with your husband, Brent, who we love dearly. To my mom, my hero, you are a steel magnolia. Thank you for passing on that strength to me to get through anything. Thank you for being by my side, the good times and the bad. Thank you for always cheering me on and believing in me. I couldn't have asked for better parents. You and Dad let me be me and pursue the dreams that I wanted. To Daddy, I miss you, my funny Valentine, and I hope you're proud of me. And finally, to the one who saved me and has taken me on an amazing ride for the last 16 years, my husband, Ken. When I met Ken, which by the way is an incredible jaw-dropping story that I don't have time to share with you now, but anytime you want to hear it, I'll tell it to you. When I met him, he informed me he had no idea who I was and that he was a Howard Stern fan. But I won him over, and I'm grateful for you every single day. Many of you know, but I got very sick a few years ago. I was hospitalized for a week, home for a couple of months, and that changed my life. I learned not to take my health or anything for granted. I try and wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude, and I am so grateful for this amazing career that I have had, for the friends that I have made along the way that fill this room, and to the Cleveland Association of Broadcasters for this award. I will cherish it always. I'll close with a line from my favorite band. What a long, strange trip it's been. Peace.